Yeah, but you'll be earning the big bucks once you're done.
I beg, let it come first.
You'll be earning the big bucks.
I was like, can I even just stop? Let them give me the balance. Let me go start working. Like, I'm literally tired.
It's a lot of things to read, right?
Not even read. There's a lot of activities. Like literally from last week till Monday, I've been going to school 9 to 5.
But you guys want to run the world now, so what do you expect?
Which world though? I beg, when people are here making money with their skills, I beg they should park somewhere. Me is this relocation first now, Abby. One step to getting dual citizenship. Let's just pray God answers our prayer.
Quiet.
Oh, someone entered. I thought.
Anyway. Can you hear me?
I can still hear you. Not sure of the other person.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just gonna give it a few minutes. While whoever wants to join us joins, and then we'll take it from there. Tim. Can Tim hear me as well? 2023 started well, and something so we tend to do this. It used to be weekly, but I'm not sure I've got the strength for weekly for now. I think we're just going to start on a fortnightly if I can. Just give me a minute. Bear with me, please, guys. Just give me a minute, 1 minute. I'm just trying to organize something on my system. Okay, let me bring up my charts. Duplicate it, and then we'll get started. So, it's a new year. Okay, great, Tim. You can hear me. That's fine. So, like I said, oh, Diola is here. Diola, how are you?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
I've not spoken to you since last year.
No, since no.
Were you well?
Happy New Year. I'm well. I'm fine. Thank you.
Good. That's all that matters. Okay. Trying to share my screen and share. Okay. So what did we say? I said we'll look at this year. Really, to be honest, I should have prepared, but I've been in one and another and another. I'm trying to teach my daughter to read to where I am right now. Okay, so I think this year I haven't actually done a lot of things, but I'm gonna show something. So I was trying to say this year from where are we to where do I think we are generally, where's the world? If you want to be a trader, some people say they only purely look at, that was the old time when I shorted Tesla. That was the thing. And so yeah, that was where I left it. I came out. But anyway, so you've got to pay attention to of course the macros, even though I think is more, anyway, for some people, for me, I think is more technicals now than fundamentals. I think fundamentals tend to derail in the time being, but ultimately, Chubi's there, but ultimately the macros or the technicals will do what the technicals will do. It's quite funny, Chubi's here, and bang, we're landing on Tesla. I didn't even call Chubi for a while now. I hope you're better, Chubi, because you weren't feeling great as well. Sorry, where's the noise coming from? That's from Chubi. Boy, what's that? They're having a party. So So one thing I haven't personally been paying attention to is the fundamentals, which I think we should. And if you look at the charts, if you look at the charts, quite a few things are, what was I trying to say? Quite a few things are doing pretty much doing the same things, really. If you look at S&P, for example, let's start from S&P 500. I'm trying to keep this meeting short, and that's what we shall do. Keep it short. Okay, so if you look at S&P, it looks like things seem to have bounced off the lows, and of course, things seem to have bounced off the lows, and of course, sorry, that's not what I want. I want these. You see, so we seem like we're climbing. That's what some people think or say. But that's fine. They're not wrong, because you trade what you can't see. If you look at the VIX, of course, the volatility, which looks at the charts, or which inverses the S&P 500, that's actually been dropping. So that's another one. If you look at oil, crude oil, you need, for a thriving economy, you need cheaper oil. Of course, again, it's coming down. So all the signs are positive. And again, if you look at the inflation record, what's the market saying? Things are generally coming down. So, but there's a caveat right there. If you look at gold is ticking, inching back to all-time highs. Normally gold is a safe haven. Sorry, not Bitcoin. Gold. I'm sorry, I have to take it back. It's gold. It's safe haven right from time. So things seem to be aligning, but gold is telling us different. Okay, people are still putting their money in safe havens. If you look at silver, by the way, this is just my opinion, guys. Whoever's listening or watching us, that's just my private, personal opinion. Except, guys, that we work together. So anyway, silver. Again, people have to run into safe havens as well. So people have to run into safe havens in a way. So would you say that the market is back? Personally, I don't think so. I don't think so. Of course, it's normal for you to get the odd, dead cats, and traders would have to trade, because at the end of the day, the institutions, they've got money, they have pressure. People are giving them their money to trade. They've got to do something with it, and that's just important. So that's important for them to trade. And unfortunately, so you would get the odd moves in the market. So I think that's the key thing I wanted to stress. And also, one of the key factors again that we have, this is actually a unique one here in this year or last year, is we still have Russia, Ukraine. So natural gas, which was something was an ace card, which was being held up to the end of last year. So if you look at that as well, that's actually been literally oh, there was some notes there. Let me just go from here. Okay, that actually climbed, but this was at the height of the war. Well, towards the war and the height of the war, and then of course, ever since, it's just been coming towards record lows, which is something I thought might be something I might personally thought I might start scaling in. So overall, the results are generally mixed. The results are generally mixed, and that leaves us with, we know it's a new year now. There's money back in the market. There's a bit of volume, so that leaves us with, if you know what you are doing, you've got to be a really good stock picker, and this is strictly for traders, especially. Okay, so this is for for fundamentalists is a totally different ball game. So if you're a good stock picker, then of course you've got to be able to look at a few things before you take your shots, if that makes sense. So that's what I am looking at. So again, so where would I say we are? I'm sorry, as far as CPI is concerned, we're still inching record high. I mean, UK inflation is still at close to 11%, or even if it's at 10%, it's still 40% 40% record. So let me just see. I want to Google these things so that we can share it. I'm trying to find the ONS on a different tab. Office of National Statistics. They compile the inflation, the UK inflation. So I think someone's trying to come in and couldn't let the person in. I'm not sure what I did there. Okay, so anyway, so if you look at the inflation, so this is where we are. So don't be quick to say we're back to all-time high. This is 1989, so we're still back on 1989 level. So if you think, you know what, I'm going to put my money in my pocket, you're not wrong. But if you think you're missing out and you just want to jump in, then I think I wouldn't say you're not wrong, but I think you should think again. So again, looking at this, inflation is still at a record 40 high. You know, 40-year-old people, grandchildren, even have grandchildren. Sorry, but that's just facts. We don't need more than 40 years. So UK inflation is still record high. US inflation, let's have a look. 6.5%, even though the target is 2. You know, I wouldn't have to go into the reason why the target, why the number 2, but it's just a consensus generally. But if you look at this, this is actually, yeah, we don't agree that it's been coming down, but yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm just trying to find the chart which shows, okay, so the chart shows us that it's been coming down. Let's look at it for 5 years, 10 years. Look, 10 years, still a 10-year high. I'm sure many of you would not buy your stocks at this point because you're going to say, no, this is still very high. Okay, 25 years, still record high, really. So this is not where we want to be. But of course, you might say, yeah, let's go back. This makes for a pretty look, but this is 1983, 84, but we're still quite record high. It's coming down. I'm not saying you should buy it when it's all down, but all I'm just trying to say is, for me as a spender, as an investor, I will be very, I'll tread gently. Okay, I'm still not going to fully expose myself, and that's where I think we are. So we're not exactly there yet. UK, US, they tend to be fully closely matched. We can look at German as well. Actually, let's look at inflation in Eurozone. Statista is actually a good one. Okay, well look, the Eurozone inflation is to 10.4, which is the biggest trader with America. So we're talking about the world global powers. The inflation is still, look, 10.4. It's still quite high. The US right there, the inflation is right there, very high. If you're gonna go 5 years, but if you really want to excite yourself, then you could say 1 year. Of course, it's down, but the economy booms really when it's just about 2%. Okay, and natural gas. Sorry, I was not talking about natural gas. And the UK, of course, I'm not biased. I'm just talking about here because this is where I live. This is still at record high. So you want to be careful if someone is advising you, or we're never coming down, because don't forget, interest rates is still coming up. It's not coming down yet. It's not coming down. They're just not hiking it like they were before. But officially, interest rates are still coming up. They're still adding to it. They're not being aggressive as they were. But I'm trying to find the chart. Okay, chart. Compare rates. There you go. Properties. So somebody want to sell something. Look. They're ramping it. They're ramping interest rates. Okay, so we're not exactly. There's the era of free money has been over for a while now. They're ramping this thing up, so we're not exactly there yet. Okay, so I will still be careful, just in case you think it's time for don't get carried away. One thing about the markets is that it would always give opportunities. So this is where we are. We are still at the point where I think personally, calm down, don't rush, take your time. Personally, I've only got exposure to two stocks rather, which I think I've been very open about it. Just 2 for now. Thing about this market is it would always give you opportunities. If you don't know what you're doing, then just take your time, calm down, don't rush. There's always going to be an opportunity. If you miss one, there's another one tomorrow and another one. This market just will never end. It's been here before you're alive, and it's always going to be here even after you're gone. So be careful, guys. So that's where we are now. The second thing I said I wanted to talk about was, give me a second, sorry. Yeah, trade management, especially for people who are trading. So this is something I'm just looking at because I'm in here. So why did I decide to add this to the to what we're going to talk about? It's supposed to be very short, and I'm going to keep it very short. So decided to add this because as a trader, depends on your level of patience. Okay, that should determine your what's it called, your time frame. If you think you want that fast money, then of course you could go aggressive, 5 minutes, minimize your time frame, and of course, do whatever you want to do. Up to you. Trade it, your strategy. My strategy, I could trade this, but you look, we haven't really got much volume, so we've got existing gap there which can't even be closed right now. Okay, and natural gas also, if you look top down, I'm just using this as an example because someone said, oh, I made some loss on this natural gas, and I say, yeah, okay, so let me give an example. So this person's got $1,000 in his account. Normally, roughly, how much should he actually be risking? There's the general standard law rule. It's not exactly a rule, but when it comes to these things, you're mostly a risk manager. So you should be risking 10%, sorry, 1%, $10 really, especially because this person is trading with a leverage. So, you're risking just $1, sorry, 1%. So literally don't overscale because we only make an adjustment. We don't know how these things will play. Okay, it's a best guess based on the different factors that we have, culminating factors. So I'm looking at this thing now, top down. It's actually been coming down, down, down. So, but what I saw, what made me call this personally for me was I could see a huge, look, there's a real support right here. And that makes me think, okay, and that's why this thing might probably spend some time around this point. And also, if you look, it's literally at all time. I mean, when last did he ever come down there? It's not been a long while. So, it might have the odd probability of coming a little bit lower, but it doesn't really stay there. And this is 1999 price. So you could say the price here in 1999 is what is the price here in, 2020 to 23. We're talking 24 years later. So, but even regardless, what could come here could still come here before he decides to bounce all over again. Nobody knows how these things will play. We just make the best adjustments. So I think this person, friend of mine, actually just went in too big. He scaled in too big, and that's why you got killed. In terms of your trade. So when it comes to trade management, you are a trade manager until you see a consistent run up. I mean, right now you see a bounce up, even though each bounce up, if you look at it as well again properly, I try to keep it very simple. Each move up, it's not as high as the previous one. But somebody will say, so why would you say this is a good point of entry? Yes, because historically it's actually been able to form a support there, and that's it. But you're not gonna, even if you're gonna come in here, you're gonna season a little bit. You're not gonna start going in with all your chips. If you want to go, if you start seeing more evidence. So you can say, okay, it's forming here. Now things are inching up. Then you could decide to, they say, buy into strength and sell into weakness. So this person actually bought heavily into weakness, which is probably not the right way to manage a trade. Okay, and if you do that, and then again, except you have unlimited amounts, once it's going your way, sometimes just be able to accept a tiny loss, no matter what the noise is. Or this coin, this stock, this whatever equity is going to make me very rich. No matter what it is, probably just stop and say, you know what, I'm going to come back to play again, because I think, you always have a risk element, risk factor. Some people write it down in terms of their stop loss. Some people some use software to set it, and that's a hard stop loss. That way it's out of your hands. If it hits, and that's it. Well, you don't take, Warren Buffett himself say, you don't test the bottom of the sea with both feet. So you got to go in gently. gently. Don't go with everything. You know, even if you see strength, go in gently, because they might want to spoof you and then push you back down. So this is what I see, because overall, this thing is, you know, sorry, but it's just been coming down for days. So even if it starts making up, but until it beats the previous high, I haven't seen it done that yet. So I think, you know, it still takes a while. I mean, even here, when it came here, it couldn't even defeat that. So it's still weakness. It's still weakness. But, and that's what I told the person. I said, you didn't manage the trade properly, and that's why, you know, he got killed, unfortunately. So I mean, he's going to live to fight another day. But that's about it, really. So this is just my take for the day. So no, it's been recorded. Actually, I'm streaming it live on YouTube, so I will post the link. I think anyway, I'll post the link. I hope I get a link for it. Yeah, I'm streaming it live, don't worry. So again, try and go in gently, scaling gently. Don't try and, you know, you might think, I mean, even I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, wow, I'm gonna make the most money I've ever made in my life. But hey, what if it doesn't stop? If it doesn't stop, it keeps going. Okay. And that's the thing. And you've got to be patient, be ready. You've got to be prepared for the eventuality that what if it goes to zero? Would I get cleaned out? That should come behind, you know, your ears always should come to your mind. What if it goes to zero? Because it's close to zero right now. It can still come. But we know it's never going to be negative. We know Europe is always going to be cold. Yeah, global warming whatsoever. The weather stays the same. You know, for 100 years they've been using gas to heat their homes, so the gas would always be used worldwide for whatever they use it for. So it's going to be there. It's never going to sell for free. But at the same time, there's so many factors that's driving and pushing this thing down. No matter how hard you try, just be patient. Have that time horizon. Time is the best friend to a trader or even an investor, and that's all you need. So unfortunately, this friend of mine that got killed, this is what happened. You know, you went in oversized and thinking, yeah, it's time to push up. No, it's been showing you weakness from, or since when? Right from here, May 2022 came down, then started showing weaknesses August 2022. So unfortunately, it was poor planning, which is a shame. But there you go. And that's it. That's all I thought I should talk about today. Like I said again, it was supposed to be a quick meeting, and I shall catch you in 2 weeks' time, except I decide to have another one before then. All right. Thank you. I'm not entertaining any question, except anyone's got a question. Actually, let's see. Yeah, violence, right? Question?
It's a new year.
Okay, question.
No, I haven't got a question.
I'll send you snake, Diola.
No. I haven't got a question. Let's stick to the time.
Cool. All right, then we'll leave it there. All right, guys, I'll post the link and
Thank
we'll take
you.
it from there. Thanks a lot. Have a pleasant night,
Thank
buddy.
you.
Bye-bye.